Alex Hormozi is publishing 300 pieces of content every single week, while most creators, maybe yourself, are out there struggling to post even one time per week. If you ever feel like you're not growing fast enough and you're hearing all these gurus tell you that it's all about, quality over quantity, I want to challenge that in today's episode because it literally could be the volume, the number of times you're publishing that is holding you back. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Video Creator Show, where we talk about all things YouTube. My name is Augie Johnston. I'm here with my co-host, Grant Ball. And today we're talking about publishing more and how to do it. So recently, Alex Hormozi's content guy went on a podcast, and even Alex Hormozi has said this himself, that he publishes 300 pieces of content each week. Now, not every single piece is a long-form YouTube video, obviously. I mean, he's talking about tweets, LinkedIn posts, talking about TikToks, Instagram, Facebook, and of course on YouTube as well. But that's a lot nonetheless. I've consumed a lot of Alex Hormozi content. And this one story he tells pretty often about how he was trying to do some business venture and he was trying to do some marketing. So he posted up 300 flyers across town to try to, I think, get people into his gym. And he went and asked his buddy, he says, it's not working. I'm posting 300 every weekend. The guy said, we post 30,000 a week. And I think that was the point where Hormozi was like, oh, okay, so this is a volume game. I need to do more. And then he's kind of taken that strategy into his content game because the guy posts a lot. He posts a ton, right? So Grant, why do you think most creators struggle to post more frequently?
Well, I think most people are thinking about it in terms of making a new video for every post, especially. And this is a YouTube podcast, so strictly with YouTube, I think people are tend to focus on quality over quantity. We have a vision for what we want to create, and we want each post to reflect that vision. And it might be kind of complicated. Whereas I think in his case, where he's essentially just trying to advertise, he realized there was a lot more he could be doing in terms of volume. I think we're focused on quality over quantity is probably the main reason we don't post more.
Yeah, on YouTube. I mean, and there are people that post every single day on YouTube, and I've seen some strategies where people will post up to 3 shorts a day. Some people will post 90 shorts in a month, and I've seen it work pretty well. And I think the reason they do that is because they do it on every platform, right? They do 90 shorts on YouTube, they do 90 on Instagram, right. 90 on TikTok.
Like a shotgun approach.
And for most creators, their growth kind of goes not many views, not many views, not many views. They post 90 a month. Now they're at 180 the next month. And eventually they've posted so many that 1 or 2 of them kind of goes viral. And that's all it takes. I've seen even YouTube channels with long form content where most of their content doesn't really get that many views, but there was 2 videos that they've posted. One of them got, 5 million views. The other one got 9 million views. And now all of a sudden they have 150,000 subscribers.
Wow.
All their new videos that they're posting and stuff are still kind of getting small views. So it's almost like you're posting, it's the shotgun approach. It's the numbers game. You're playing the numbers game where if the quality is there enough, I think it just gives you more shots at the goal, more chances to go viral. But do you believe that, and let's talk about early on, let's say I'm just getting started. Do you believe that it's more of a quality game or a quantity game, specifically on YouTube?
I think it's more of a quantity game when you're first getting started, in the sense that I think if you're not used to making videos and your process is still you're still developing your process to make a video, the more times you complete a process and post a video, the faster you're going to get better. I say that, but the way I approached it initially when I started YouTube 11 years ago was it was more of a quality approach. I wanted each video to be really good. But I think someone like me needed the kind of opposing advice of yes, but you got to get these videos done. Fortunately, the other people on my team were let's release more often, and I think we worked up to once a month, then every 2 weeks, then once a week. And they were kind of the catalysts of moving in that direction of releasing more. Then we ended up going way too far in the other direction, but that's a different story. So yeah, I would say, like, if you're somebody who tends to, I think, procrastinate and like focus on perfection, try to just release more. Truly, like, just make more videos and don't try to make everything so perfect. Uh, Whereas if you're going for that shotgun approach and you are recording a video a day and nothing's working, um, maybe like make your videos better. I don't, just saying, like, like, so that's some sort of like customizable advice there. Kind of pick and choose what perspective you're working from, and hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's custom for every person. Like, some people need to focus more on volume if they're only publishing once a month. Other people more on the quality, because if you're posting 300 times a week and you're getting one view on every video,
it's like, maybe change something. It could be you're posting too much.
Yeah, it could be, and it could just be I don't know what it is. Like, I've seen that on my own accounts too. Like, like this podcast here, right? We get it repurposed and turned into shorts, and they do good on YouTube. They do fairly okay on Instagram, but like the Facebook page that they get posted to, it's just like a personal brand, Augie Johnston Facebook page. Like, I checked that thing the other day, and I have somebody that posts for me. And man, I was scrolling through those things. It was like 0.00001.1.0.0.0.2.0.0.0. Yeah. And like, I hadn't checked it forever because like, I don't really care about my Facebook page, but that was just like, whoa, it's crazy how this content on other pages can get views, but it's not getting anything on Facebook. And I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think that is, Grant?
What the heck? I feel like Facebook is kind of a different platform, right? Like, I think Instagram and YouTube, even TikTok, like, there can be kind of a grind culture embedded in those platforms, or like a grow your business kind of culture. Whereas Facebook feels like a different space. I think people go to Facebook to talk to their friends, or like see what their friends are up to, or obviously the feed, the algorithm. They're probably more just looking for fun videos. They're not necessarily interested in like videos on how to grow a podcast. It just, I guess, intuitively feels like clips from this podcast don't seem like they fit as well on Facebook. They feel more YouTube-y or LinkedIn-y or something,
Yeah, no, I agree. I also think too that the Facebook algorithm just hasn't found the audience for that. It's still trying to figure out, who would even like this stuff and whatever. Or you know what? It really could be, and this is probably the truth, and I hate to say it because it's a conspiracy theory, but it's because it's YouTube and we're talking about YouTube.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew. Did you know that Facebook totally suppresses YouTube links?
I've heard that. And that makes sense. I've even heard YouTube suppresses links to like other websites, and like it's going on around the board,
Yeah, well, I mean, if you link to other websites in your YouTube videos and everyone's clicking away from your YouTube video, I think that could suppress your video. On Facebook, if you share anything that's got a YouTube link in it, then it's not going to get any reach. That post will not get any reach. That's why you see people like posting like the thumbnail image, and then in the first comment they'll put the link to the YouTube video or whatever. Right. But maybe there's some truth to that. That is an interesting thing. That might be a test I need to run. But yeah, I mean, Facebook is a different platform. It does have reels, right? Like Instagram has reels, just kind of the same thing, right? And every now and then I'll be on Facebook and I'll catch myself like swiping in my news feed. A video will pop up and I'll end up clicking on it, and that'll open up kind of reels on Facebook. And then I'll find myself swiping. I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? What app am I? I'm on Facebook watching videos. What the heck? But I'm old. I'm not young like some people who don't even have Facebook. So, all right, cool. Well, Hormozi posting 300 times a week. He's also said that he spends over $70,000 a month just on his content team, oh my God. Right? Just for his content. So it's easy for him because he has a team, right? That's one way he's able to do it. But what about like the ideation and like, where does all these ideas and topics and stuff come from? Because essentially from the content I've consumed from him, it's coming from him. It's not coming from some a random person giving him ideas. And he's talked about this. So what he likes to do is he likes to tweet. So this is like kind of where the whole entire content system starts, is he'll make a short tweet and that could be turned into a video topic. There's already kind of a little bit of a script and outline done there in that tweet, right? There might be a couple bullet points or some things he's mentioned. And he'll take that tweet and it could turn into a long form video. And he uses Twitter as almost like a testing platform, to where if he's tweeting, let's say 20 times a day and 3 of those get good reach, then he knows, okay, I'm going to go ahead and create some YouTube videos on that. Maybe some short form content as well. But essentially what he's doing is he's creating that long form content, then repurposing it into a ton of, different types of things, right? Different types of short form, all that kind of stuff. And other kinds of content that he would create would be like carousel posts, which are like different images, right? Like, the Alex Hormozi way to make $1 million. Step 1, find out what you're good at. Step 2, and these are images that you're kind of swiping through. And all these different types of content, like I mentioned earlier, LinkedIn and stuff too. It all kind of is part of this machine. So what stands out to you most after you kind of learning that, Grant, and kind of me explaining the waterfall method of creating content? What kind of stands out the most to you? What's interesting to you there?
Mm-hmm. Well, the biggest thing probably is like, this is only going to work if you already have an audience. So the fact that he can tweet something out and get interaction, and kind of there's enough of a conversation around the tweet to where you can make a video about it. That is, I think, one, a really good way to engage with your community. But 2, if you're starting from scratch, this advice may not quite apply to you. I would say if you're like a smaller creator, even if you get like a couple replies to a tweet or something, this might work for you. But in general, I think creating content out of your community, or the conversations that you're having, your interactions with them, is a great idea. Like, you're I think building a connection with them, and then 2, you're making content on top of that. So I think it's a pretty ingenious idea. I think it's smart. I get why it works.
Yeah, I like the method myself. I think it's a good way. Instead of, most people would put it in their notes, right? They'll open up their phone, they have a video topic, they'll put it in their notes. Like, spend another minute and turn it into a tweet in your head, put it on Twitter, and, now you're creating content on Twitter. And Twitter's a great platform to grow a following on. It's like you can post links there. You can post videos and stuff. You can DM, right, on Twitter. So a lot of people create great followings on Twitter, actually, and create great businesses off them too. And the crazy thing is, I've also heard people say that they test their short form content on TikTok, and only the short form content that does well on TikTok is what they'll post on Instagram, which I don't know. That sounds like kind of BS to me, to be honest. But I know the TikTok algorithm can create things like a little bit more virality with posts. You ever heard any of these testing methods, Grant? You ever heard any of this kind of stuff before? Is this new?
I've never heard of doing that. I think that makes sense if you really want to curate your feed on a certain app, and you don't want to clutter it too much. So maybe, I guess in that case, like if you want your Instagram to look or appear a certain way, then right, you use some other app as a testing ground. So I think if you want to be really picky with how your account on a certain social media platform does, then sure, that makes sense. But I think overall, just cross posting across all of them is probably the easiest thing to do, I would think.
Yeah, I agree. The other day I was shooting some long form YouTube videos, and I also shot some shorts for kind of the first time. I turned my camera sideways, I turned my mirrorless camera sideways, and I shot some shorts. And man, in one take on the camera, I was able to shoot 20 shorts.
Wow.
Yeah, they're super easy to film because for me, I'm looking at a topic that I wrote down, and maybe a starter sentence, a little bit of a hook, and then maybe one bullet point, or maybe no bullet points usually. But yeah, I'm able to just look at that topic and be like, oh yeah, I can talk for 30 seconds about that. So I do think that there is or that people should have the ability to film. You could film 90 shorts and publish 90 shorts in a month. I know it sounds insane. The hardest part is probably the publishing part, not
Yeah,
even the
yeah.
filming, you know? So I know, Grant, you're not a vertical guy at all, right? Have you ever
Mhm.
even released a vertical video?
For clients, yes.
Oh, okay.
For my own channels, have I released a single short? I don't think I've released a single short on any channel I've done, but I've made lots of shorts for clients. I mean, tons of them, some of which have done very well, might I add.
I feel like that could be a good move for Treesicle. I mean, I know you put so much effort into each video. Like, how could you have like one quick video game topic, think of one joke, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
one funny thing about it, and then boom, I think like each one of those videos could probably do a lot of views. Now, as we
Mm-hmm.
always talk, those are not super valuable views because they're short form. And are they going
Mm-hmm.
to click over and subscribe? Well, some people do from what I've seen, but definitely not at the same rate. Would you consider it?
I would consider posting shorts. I've definitely thought about it a lot. I think the concern is always getting a bunch of subscribers for shorts that don't tune in for the long form
Mm-hmm.
content. And then that to me feels like worse than just not posting shorts at all. Because that I think would be bad for the long term health of the channel. Um, I do feel like shorts can work to advertise for long form videos if it feels like they're in the same spirit as the long form videos. So like a long form YouTube video, if it feels like the same vibe and pacing as the shorts, but just more of it and it's longer, then I think generally speaking, that actually is going to work. You're going to have a lot more crossover with it. I like comedy skit channels, for instance, I think do this well. It's like a 1 minute comedy skit or like a relatively short one. You can throw that up as a short or a vertical video. Whereas maybe you have like a 6 minute skit or something. You throw that up as a long form video, and the crossover is probably going to be like relatively decent, because it's just kind of the same thing but longer.
Mm-hmm.
But if the videos just feel super different, like you're just not going to have crossover.
Yeah, I agree. And it does worry me too, because like if somebody does subscribe after they watch a short, the algorithm could recommend them a long form video, boom, thumbnail right in front of them. And they're like, man, I don't even watch long forms on YouTube. So they don't even click it. So that could hurt your click through rate and stuff. But,
Right.
a lot of people kind of have those opinions on YouTube and Instagram too. Like they will, if a video does bad, they'll delete it. They'll say like, oh, it'll ruin your channel health, the health of your channel. Or they won't post anything that's not like high quality because they say it would hurt the channel health. I'm starting to not believe that. And I'm starting to not believe kind of what I just said as far as the shorts form viewers hurting your channel. I think that the algorithms are so good now that it just doesn't matter. That's kind of what I'm starting to think, at least. I don't know. I don't have any proof. But anyways, that's just a guess. Let's go ahead and move on here. So 300 pieces of content per week. Grant, how could you break that down? Let's do a little bit of math. I don't know if we'll be able to get to 300, but let's go ahead and start with 5 tweets a day. That'll get you, what's 5 times 7? That's 35 posts right there. How many times are we posting on Instagram?
I mean,
Max it out.
max it out. Like, how many Instagram posts could I feasibly get away with posting on Instagram before I went completely insane?
Yeah, or like let's just guess like how close or how Hormozi does this. How does he get to 300?
I mean, yeah, he's clearly utilizing all social media platforms. So he's probably I've seen his Instagram. So it's just like him going about his business or something, walking out of a private jet, something like that. Like he's kind of constantly posting different things to different platforms. I guess he could post like 3 times a day to Instagram, 5 times a day. Although if you're talking about reels, I don't know. I don't know how to answer this question. I just like splooge out content. Like, who cares? Just throw it out there. Like, just stop giving a fuck. Like, that seems to be what he's done, but it works. I think like, he's clearly found a way to make it all work, right? He has an established business. He's very good at talking to the camera. I think he's amazing at like, and he's super jacked. Somewhat effortlessly, his or it appears effortless that he's able to create all of this content. He's sort of just like living his life and pointing a camera at himself, dispensing his wisdom and then moving on with his day. I think like he's in a very special position where he can like do that.
Yeah.
That seems to be the core of his ability to make so many posts per day. You know, like I guess what I can take from that is like you can kind of turn anything into content, and it's probably like a good it's good practice to just start splooging things out. I don't know if it's for me, but like I mean I spent years making videos faster than I probably should have. And I kind of learned what I wanted to learn from that. But maybe we all need that phase where we're kind of just doing things and we're going. And maybe you'll learn something. I don't know. I don't feel like this is for me. But like clearly it is for him. Like this feels like something I would need to work up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like what he did is like he came onto the scene, I don't know, maybe it was just like 3 years ago, maybe, and just hit the ground running. I mean, it was his first videos were terrible. It was a webcam in some tiny little closet in his house with bad lighting, and he was just talking. And I think it was the quantity that really helped him kind of, you know, he was saying good things, but it helped him kind of get his name out there and get the base viewership that he did, because he was posting a lot. Like he came out and just started posting a ton before he had, you know, a lot of editors and that kind of stuff. So there is something to it. You know, it's kind of the Gary Veaynerchuk method. You know, he is a digital marketer or just a marketing guru guy who maybe 10 years ago kind of started creating content, and he posted a ton, and he was the first one to post like a billion posts like Hormozi. And other people have followed along. Grant Cardone is another one. Kind of all these business guru guys have done it, and it's worked for them. So I think, you know, it's just not realistic for most people because we're all pretty much solo creators, right? But I think it is a good lesson that everyone should look at and say, okay, I'm a solo creator. I can't do it. I can't do 300 a week, but right now I'm doing 1 a week. You know, maybe I should up that to 2 a week, or maybe I should, you know, repurpose this video and post it in other places. It's just kind of a little bit of a wake up call, because it seems like the competition is getting a little bit tougher if now you're competing against people that are posting, you know, that often. So you got to keep up. Okay. Hormozi posting a ton. Saw like one of his main content guys, kind of his creative director, gave out a really good piece of advice that I liked. He said, like, in order to make your content kind of unique and to you, like, let's say you're talking about business, you should talk about business, but kind of in the setting or the frame of one of your passions. So his example was like, if you love eating cereal, talk about business while you're eating cereal. Like for you, Grant, like if you want to talk about whatever, talk about it while you're, you know, holding a video game controller in front of a big screen, you know, something like that. And I was like, that's pretty, I kind of like that advice. Cause like for me, like I'm in the basketball gym a lot, but you know, on my personal brand YouTube channel, I'm not talking about basketball at all. And there's no basketball there. So people don't even know that about me. But if I was talking about business, maybe in the basketball gym or whatever, in just a different setting, then I don't know, it could create for some better content, get people to know me better. All right, so let's go ahead and move on, because the next part that we're going to talk about right now is pretty interesting, actually. It's a new kind of phenomenon where streamers are now hiring people, they call them clippers, to take their streams, and you know, some of these streams are long, you know, like an 8-hour stream, take the best parts from the stream, make them into short vertical content and post them on TikTok or post them wherever, and drive people back to whoever that creator, that streamer, their main platform. So I heard a streamer called Neon said that he spent $200,000 one month paying his clippers. And kind of the way they pay him is they pay him based on the number of views they get. So like you don't get paid anything if the video you post or the clip you post gets, you know, 1 view. But if it gets 1 million views, you get $1,000. And if it gets 10 million views, you get $10,000. And there must be some kind of like return on investment for these streamers. But this is like a new thing that's recently come out, these streamers using clippers. Grant, what's your opinion?
I mean, it's a great idea. I feel like it's an incentive-based payment structure. So like, it sounds like you can't lose money by using this system, right? Because it is based on how many views you get. So it does incentivize posting the best clips, and it's kind of a win-win as far as maximizing views. I think it's a great idea. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't have too much else to say about it. Like I guess I'm curious, like how many clippers there are for this guy. Like, is it? I would like more details if possible.
Yeah, I think it's a lot. I think it's hundreds, maybe.
Hundreds? Oh my god! I guess
Maybe.
if it's like 8-hour streams and he's streaming every day, like you kind of would need an army of people.
Yeah, and it's annoying because like they're just taking this content, just throwing in some AI, I'm sure, right? And it's the one cutting it up, giving them, 100 pieces, and then now they're posting all these things, linking back or tagging, right, the streamer, and they do them on these like Neon, right? They do on like the best Neon fans, and like these accounts are called like Neon fans to the moon, or like just creating all these random accounts
Mm-hmm.
and then linking back to them.
Sure.
It's just like flooding all this traffic back to the streamer. It's pretty crazy.
Interesting. I mean, an ingenious idea. Um, why not? I say why not? If you got the audience for it, do it, man.
Yeah, and it really kind of incentivizes the streamer to like make a more entertaining stream because they need like these clippable moments to
Right.
be in the stream. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. These streamers, from what I've seen, are all pretty weird. There's not one that I would say I would hang out with.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I don't know. They're young dudes that are just kind of wild. But yeah, I mean, my worry is like you're giving all these different people kind of control over your brand. They're who knows what text they're putting in there, what captions they're using, and it could just be a bad look for your brand. But yeah, who really knows? I'm not a streamer, and I don't ever want to be a streamer. Okay, so Alex Hormozi's posting 300 times a week. That's great. Not realistic for the most of us that are posting on YouTube. But we probably could post, 5 days a week. We could post 7 days a week if we really wanted to. But is that the right move, Grant? What's your opinion? Is it quality or quantity on YouTube?
Mm-hmm. I feel like for long form videos, it's quality. I think quality is going to be the biggest thing, especially when you're slowly like accumulating this library of really good videos. Eventually, one of them is going to take off and feed into your backlog, right? As long as those videos all kind of have the same vibe. If you're a shorts creator, then I think probably just quantity is more important, in my opinion. Like, due to the nature of shorts, I think it's fine to just post a billion shorts. Whereas long form videos, while I do agree with what you said earlier that I think the algorithm is better now at kind of filtering out what people do and don't want, I do feel like having a strong backlog of long form videos is the most important. And if there's just like a bunch of BS, like I don't know, the more times somebody clicks on one of your videos and thinks like the worse off your channel is going to be. And yeah, maybe YouTube's better at not showing you those videos, but then I don't know, it just feels like I try to appeal to the audience as people, and I try to minimize the amount of times they're going to go and so quality over quantity, in my opinion, is the best way to ensure that people are not bored.
Yeah, I think that's good advice, especially for YouTube, 100%. So, all right, you guys, thank you guys so much for listening or watching today. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe. If you're listening on an audio platform, you can follow us there as well. And we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.